Hi everybody! So it's time to find out what my next 5 reads are going to be, and I'm breaking my rule a bit to do with how I'm picking books. At the moment it was, my jar where I randomly pick the titles from the jar out of ones I'd already picked out at the very beginning of this year. But time has moved on a bit, and a couple of things have happened, meaning that there's a couple of books that I want to read which happen to be in my to be read collection right now. And so I'm like, what do I do? So I've decided that for these next 5 reads that I am handpicking them myself. I will be going back to the jar after these 5, but these are 5 that are not in the jar whatsoever, so it's not going to screw up my system, as it were. So yay, that's good. So the first 2 are the ones that I desperately want to read right now, and the other 3, when I looked at my to be read collection, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to look in the hardback. So I just fancied reading like some hardback books. I don't know why, my brain just went hardbacks, and these 3 books were sat right next to each other, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go for those 3. So it was just kind of, the other 3 were kind of picked at random, but there's still 3 where I just looked at the titles and went, yeah, my gut, I want to read them right now. So here we go. So the first book which I am desperate to read is Where the Crawdad Sings by Delia Owens. Now the film version of this comes out on the 15th of July, I believe it is, here in the UK. I love the trailer. Taylor Swift, the wonderful Taylor Swift, who I adore, she has written a song and part of it was played on the trailer. It sounds amazing, but I was like, the trailer kind of got me, and I was like, oh right, because this has been like everywhere on Facebook book groups and such, and I was like, what is the deal with this book? Why is everyone raving about this book? But because of my the pattern of reading last year and then this year, I'm not buying any books and everything. I didn't get the opportunity to buy it, so I was like, you know what, well, I say that I have bought it, but it was in the, my last book haul. So I meant throughout the last year when everyone was raving about it, just to clarify. I know that what I said didn't make sense, because of course I had time to buy it because I bought it. I'm having one of those moments. But yeah, so I was like, I just didn't capture it in the buzz. So I have now, and I really, really want to read this before the film comes out. So yeah, I'm so happy looking forward to July. Now, Delia Owens, there's been a bit of controversy about her and her personal life. I'm not going to go into in this because I've got other stuff to show you. But if you want to look it up, look it up. So yeah, but I'm here for the story. And here's the blurb on the back. For years, rumours of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barclay Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand. Then the time comes when she yearns to be loved. When 2 young men from the town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. So it's a crime one, and you know how I like crime books. And so yeah, I was like, you know what, because that trailer, I really, really want to read the book now. So before the film comes out. So next read is Where the Crawdads Sing. Then after that is a book that both my sister and our bestie, Sarah, hi Sarah, if you're watching, have read earlier this year. Yeah, I think it might have been around January, February time. They both loved it. They were both desperate for me to read it, so then I can give my opinion of it. So I was like, you know what, if I'm doing this for Crawdads, I'm going to include this in my 5, and that is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Again, a book last year and this year around like Facebook book groups and such has been going crazy. people have been absolutely losing their mind over this book. So I'm like, I need to read it. So, sometimes the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from a small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with the gorgeous neurosurgeon Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, and maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. But Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal novel, Colleen Hoover delivers a heart-wrenching story that breaks exciting new ground for her as a writer. It Ends With Us is an unforgettable tale of love that comes at the ultimate price. So yeah, I'm so excited to read this one, and then I can finally talk to my sister and Sarah about this book. So as I said, those were the two that I desperately wanted to get to ASAP, and then these three were sat together in hardbacks on my bookcase, just all three of them sat together, and I was like, oh my god, yes, those three. It has to be those three. So yeah, so the first one of those three is The Mad Woman's Ball by Victoria Mass. Victoria is a French novelist, and this has obviously been translated into English. I think this is her debut novel from what I can remember. I might have to just look that one up. But how gorgeous is this? Oh, I love it so much. And yeah, there's a bit the back in circle. I just absolutely love the cover design on this. It's stunning. So I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly. I'm probably not, but The Salpêtrière Asylum, 1885. All of Paris is in the thrall of Dr. Charcot and his displays of hypnotism on women who have been deemed mad or hysterical outcasts from society. But the truth is much more complicated, for these women are often simply inconvenient, unwanted wives or strong-willed daughters. Once a year, a grand ball is held at the hospital. For the Parisian elite, the Mad Woman's Ball is the highlight of social season. For the women themselves, it's a rare moment of hope. Genevieve is a senior nurse. After the childhood death of her sister, she has shunned religion and placed her faith in Dr. Charcot and his new science. But everything begins to change when she meets a new patient, Eugenie, a 19-year-old daughter of a bourgeois the family. Sorry, my brain just doesn't want to work today. And she needs Genevieve's help. Their fate will collide on the night of the Mad Woman's Ball. So, The Mad Woman's Ball by Victoria Mass. I'm quite excited to read that. It's not that long a novel as well, which is quite surprising, but you know, we'll see how that goes. Then I decided to go to a book that I've been wanting to read for a while, and I bought it in my last book haul, so I was like, you know, I've got to read it. It's Carrie Hope Fletcher's When the Curtain Falls. I follow Carrie on Instagram and her YouTube channel. I've really liked her for, it's been, I think, a couple of years now I've been following her, and she has written various books. She's just published, I think it's her 5th fictional book, and she's just announced that she's publishing in 2 months' time her 2nd children's novel. So yeah, so very exciting. And I've only got one of Carrie's books, and it's about theatre, and you know how I love theatre and such, so I was like, you know, I have to read it. So theatres have a certain kind of magic. When the curtain rises, we are all enraptured by the glare of the lights and the smell of the grease paint. But it's when the curtain falls that the real magic begins. In 1952, two young lovers, Fawn Burrows and Walter Brown, meet backstage in a beautiful West End theatre during a production of When the Curtain Falls. Between clandestine meetings and stolen moments, they must hide their love from the one person who will stop at nothing to keep Fawn for himself. But life in the theatre doesn't always follow the script, and tragedy and heartache are waiting in the wings for all the players. Almost 70 years later, a new production arrives at the theatre, bringing with it Oscar Bright and Olive Green and their budding romance. But no sooner has the new cast settled into the dressing rooms that strange things begin to happen. Ghosts of the production past haunt the theatre, or so the story goes. Can Oscar and Olive get to the truth of the matter before tragedy strikes once more? So yeah, Where the Curtain Falls. As I said, I've not read of any Carrie's books before, so I'm really excited to see how this goes. And yeah, so When the Curtain Falls. And then finally, we have a book that I just feel like, oh, it's going to be gritty, I'm going to really like it. It's Dangerous Women by Hope Adams. So this is a fictional book that's inspired by a real life event, because if we can show you the back, isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So this is a quilt that was on display in an exhibition at the V&A that Hope went to. And it's a quilt that was sewn by women on a ship bound for Australia, because they were convicts who had been sent to Australia, and they did this quilt whilst on board this ship. And it triggered Hope to look into it a bit more and inspired her book. So it says, London, 1841. The Raj sails from Australia aboard 180 convicted women of petty crimes. Daughters, sisters, mothers. They'll never see home or family again. Despised and damned, they have only one another. As the Raj sails further from the land, the women spend their days working on a patchwork quilt of rare beauty, until in the middle of the unforgiving sea, a young mother is murdered. As the desperate hunt for the killer begins, everyone on board is a suspect. Based on the real-life voyage of the convict ship, Dangerous Women is a thrilling and deeply moving mystery narrated by a group of women as unforgettable as the events that they describe. So it's Dangerous Women by Hope Adams. So all 5 of these are by female authors. All 5 of these authors I've never read before, and they cover a wide, range of stuff. And so it wasn't until I picked these 5 that I realised, oh my gosh, all female authors, all covering different times, all covering different genres. And yeah, so I'm really excited to read these 5 books. So first we have Where the Crawdad Sings, then it ends with us, The Mad Woman's Ball, When the Curtain Falls, and Dangerous Women. So yay, I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are excited too for those. And so I will be back with my thoughts of Where the Crawdad Sings when I have finished reading. All right, guys, bye.